Welcome back to Ball Talk with me, Lewis Bryon, and today only with one of the usuals. Ken's not here, so we've got presenter Noah Jones and making his debut, usually behind the camera, Archie Corbett. How are you, mate?
Some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, big shoes.
Nervous, but excited to be here.
Yeah,
that's what we want.
Better footballer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Right, boys. We'll start off by going through Bournemouth Arsenal on the weekend. Obviously, a 1-0 defeat to Arsenal. Third red card in 8 games this year. First of all, was it a red card?
Yes.
Yeah. Just
I've always been last man is a red card. And I think we'll get on to another issue that happened this weekend that we're probably quite annoyed about, which I think is a red card. It's just Trossard's put him in a world of danger. What is that? Lumping it back when you don't know what's going on, just lifting the ball. I mean, I think it would have been fine if we let him go. I'd back Raya on a 1v1. I'd back Ben White to get back. So I'm a bit annoyed that Saliba did it, but I guess in the moment you're not thinking about that, are you?
Even Saliba to get back.
That's exactly it. I'd have backed him almost more than Ben White.
Yeah.
Would you stitched? Oh, it's a red.
It's a red.
It's a red every day of the week and twice on Sundays. It's a red, and as you say, it's last man. So and it was so like Ben White's not actually particularly close to him either. Like I know he's kind of far away, and I know people are saying he could have got there. And I think it was on Sky Sports they were analysing the pace that Ben White was going up by comparison to Evan Nilsson. Like that makes a difference.
Yeah.
But it always feels like with these decisions, and I don't know if you want to go on to talk about this, but the referee should still be the one making that choice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's seen anything new on the VAR screen to go, yeah, that's a red. All he's had is that bit of doubt in his mind. He's been sent there and he's gone, oh, that's a red then.
Very confused about that. There's no real room for interpretation with it. It's the last man he's taking him down.
Yeah.
So it's what you think then and there. I don't think you have to then go to a screen and say, oh, how far away was Ben White?
Why does VAR intervene when it's subjective?
Precisely.
Yeah. I think, though, like looking at it, forgetting the rules, is hard. It is a red by the letter of the law, but it's harsh to give that. Like he's on the halfway line. It's not. He's the last man, but he's not denying a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity, is he?
And I do agree with that because look, the ball's bouncing. You'll know as a footballer, you can't just a ball bouncing get to your top speed with the ball under control. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of factors that go into it. I don't think he would have scored. I don't think he would have got there. I don't think he would have got to Raya to be able to shoot. But there's that whole thing of you've given the ref the opportunity to give it. Yeah. Then it's been given.
I do feel a little sorry for Saliba in some way. He should have known where everyone was on the pitch and where he was. But as a footballer from young, you're taught to like stop the counter attack, just a little trip, take the yellow card, and that's probably what's in his head. If he thought he was getting a red, he obviously wouldn't have done that. He probably would have caught him himself.
I think most footballers would have done the same thing in that situation. Yeah. Just a quick...
It's reaction. Like you've been taught that way since you were 8 years old. He's now in his 20s. Of course he's going to do it.
But like you said, Noah, I think it's more on Trossard. I think actually weighted-wise, it's about 80% Trossard, 20% Saliba.
I don't understand what he's doing. The thought process to be going back to your own goal with the ball bouncing a bit and think, I'm going to loft this over to my defence and I've not looked up. He's done a couple of stupid things recently, and I'm a huge Trossard fan. Yeah. He needs to relax. Yeah, that's what the things he's done is a bit like.
Well, you say he needs to relax. It seems like all of Arsenal need to relax. 3 red cards. Like, why do you think we're actually getting so many red cards in a short space of time?
Because we're committing red card offences. I mean, jokes aside, maybe I think the Rice one's very, very debatable, and that's been talked about loads. I think the Trossard one's a red. The one against Man City, where he boots the ball away. I mean, I know there was a short period of time, but especially considering the context of what had happened with the Rice one, I feel like you've just got to be a bit more switched on that situation. 100%. And I think the Saliba one is. And I think we just need to get a little bit less naive and be a bit more savvy. Man City don't get these kind of red cards. And it's not because there's some sort of league-wide conspiracy, because there's not. Yeah. Right? Like Arsenal fans are trying to suggest on Twitter and everywhere else. There's not. No one cares. But we just need to get a bit more savvy.
We won the Fair Play Award last season, and now we've got 3 red cards in 8 games.
Are we like too? I don't know. It seems sometimes like we're too hyped up in the games. Maybe.
Like I say, I mean, it feels out of order to be singling him out, but the Trossard yellow card, that whole game, he was hyped, right? He did the first the yellow card foul, then he hit Bernardo Silva, then he kicked the ball away. It was all a bit scatty. Same at the weekend. I thought we were past that, but maybe no Saka. No Timber, no Odegaard. Maybe it's just, I guess you'll know more than us, but if you go into a game and you know you're missing a couple of your best players, is it a bit, oh shit?
Yeah, it depends. If what you think of the players replacing them, I suppose.
Yeah.
And if it's like, I mean, I looked at that team before we started and I weren't too confident. I just don't like Sterling on the right wing. I don't like Sterling for Arsenal, really. I don't feel like he's a, like, not to start. I don't feel like he's fits our style. Like, even the way he was pressing, it's just so, it's night and day when you look at Saka pressing and him pressing. I thought he was a bit...
I think off the ball, I think you're totally right.
Yeah.
I think you're very, very right.
When he's taken on defenders, he did a few times. It was fairly Saka-like, and I didn't mind it. But
I think I've got something against him.
You might do. You might
do. Vendetta there.
Yeah, I don't know. But just last thing on the red card, we see a similar situation with, I think it was Chelsea-Liverpool match.
Yes.
And again, if you're going by the letter of the law, he was the last man. Although there was, I'm not sure it was maybe Colwill who was running right next to him, who pretty much got the ball a couple seconds later. But that got given a yellow. I don't think it was a red, but it's technically the same situation, isn't it?
I think that's the difference, though. I think Colwill's distance is the exact reason. Like I actually weirdly agreed with that was a yellow.
Did you?
And the sleep one was a red. So, and I think the genuine difference is that Colwill's so much closer than Ben White is. And I know people will laugh because it's 5 yards difference, but he is a slight bit further back. And I think that was just using something the rest don't often use, is common sense. And Colwill was right there. I think he'd have just gone and got the ball.
I do agree. I still think it's a red. I think last man. That's what I mean. I think it was. I agree with you. I think Arsenal's Saliba's was probably a red, and Chelsea's was definitely not a red. Like in my opinion, I don't want that to be given for a red.
Yeah.
But
no matter how close he was, the last man still fouled him. And brought him down. So
that's my thought process. I know there's a talk about distance from goal. It was pretty similar. Closest defender. That's where they had the upper hand. If the ball is bounced or not, I just think that's too much. Yeah. Then you leave it open to massive interpretation, which is now the issue. Make it clear.
Yeah.
If you take out the last man, he's through on goal, red card.
Yeah.
Don't leave. Is it bouncing? Is it going towards the goal? Don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree, mate. I'm on your side.
I'm fuming.
Right, we'll go back to the Bournemouth game.
Yeah.
Marino started. I know you're a big fan of his.
Yep.
How did you think he did?
I think he did as well as he could with 3 DMs playing in midfield.
Yeah.
I know. Rice isn't 8. Marino's not a DM, but what we did a lot was pass the ball around nicely in midfield, and then it was a bit like, how do we get the ball to the forwards? There was such a lack of creativity in that midfield that absolutely killed us, and I think was the main issue in that game. Just got the ball in the final third, and it was like, what do we do now? Yeah. Rice can't pick out the worldy through balls Odegaard can. Marino's not got the dribbling ability that Trossard does when he plays in the 10. Marino can't swap with Havertz like they seem to have been doing. That was a stinky midfield. Yeah. And they're all good players. It was a stinky midfield.
Yeah. It was very one-dimensional. It was very Thomas Partey sits and supposedly sweeps up, and Declan Rice and Marino are very box-to-box. Yeah. And we, as you sort of hinted towards, we really, really missed Odegaard. And I think actually this period of time where he's been out has shown how much we're missing him. Because creatively, I think we've struggled without him. Mm-hmm. I'd have argued, I know he's 17. I'd have argued Ethan Nwaneri should have
thought he was perfect.
Mate, every single week I say that, and this tell me I'm an idiot.
No, this was the opportunity for him to start.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, over Marino there, you can't play. They were cramping each other's space, really, weren't they? And we didn't have the outlet ball if that midfield weren't working in Saka, did we?
Yeah, because Saka's deputised Odegaard a bit. Like Odegaard's been missing, Saka's been doing the playmaking. Mm-hmm. You take that out as well, there is not a single playmaker on that team. Yeah. And that's not a slight towards any of the players, it's just not how they play. Yeah. I just think, I know he's young, so what?
Yeah.
We have to have some form of creativity. I'm sure we'll get onto it soon. Very quickly.
Yeah, but when you're young, you come on with something to prove then. Whereas Marino, I don't feel like he come on with really something. He weren't trying to prove a point. He was sort of trying to do his job.
Yeah, I 100% completely agree. I think for him personally, I mean, no one played great. We obviously can't judge him off that game.
No,
because him and Rice at some points were like at one point, I think the ball got played up and Rice was next to Havertz. Yeah. Up top. What's that man going to do? I love Declan Rice. Everyone knows that. What's he going to do?
He's not a second striker.
No,
he's not.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't even think it was a selection of Marino or Rice. I'd have argued, do you need a 6? in that game? I mean, or do you have two very mobile eights?
Yeah.
And a creative force and assume / hope that we're going to dominate the ball against Bournemouth, who, no disrespect, we should be dominating the ball against. 100%. And I thought, a word on them, their press was brilliant.
They pressed really well.
They pressed really well.
Yeah.
Areola's got something really good going there, and they're gonna pull up a lot of trees this season because they've looked really good. Mm-hmm. But I think that was what we needed really, because I don't think Partey offered a whole lot in terms of playing out from that deeper role. Because what you really want that 6 to be doing is being that kind of person that breaks through that first line of the press, right?
Yeah.
To a creator, and he's breaking through that first line, well, wasn't at least, and there was no one there then in that sort of next phase of play. So I think that was really what we were missing.
I think he played well, and I normally don't like him at all.
Yeah,
but he didn't need to be there, as you said. We didn't need a holding midfielder in that game. No. We could have had 2 8s and a young attacking midfielder, which I think would have been great.
Or you have Jorginho, who offers you a little bit more on the ball from that 6th position.
Yeah,
fine. If you don't want to have one area, and they have Jorginho, it's actually a creator from deep, because Partey's not really that.
Yeah. And we've sometimes, like recently, we played Trossard sort of in there as well, and him and Havertz have sort of been rotating and switching, but I don't know why he really injuries. I don't know what his faults were.
Martinelli wasn't 100% fit, so
was Jesus.
Yeah,
sort of hindsight in it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But credit to Bournemouth, because they set traps really well and they pressed well.
I will put it on record now. Clip this. Arsenal will be buying Semenyo in January for, I reckon, 50 mil.
Lewis, can you have a word?
Yeah. You know what? I tried it. The podcast we done last week, last Wednesday, I rang him up during the podcast, but he didn't answer. I was going to say go easy, but maybe
he didn't.
Right.
That's why he didn't pick up. All right, Agent Lewis.
Yeah, Agent
Can
Lewis.
Can you get onto him in January and be like, we need a 2-footed direct winger? Any chance,
He's
mate?
a baller, man. He's a baller.
He's so good.
The thing is, he's just really, really quick, really strong, and he can literally go off both feet, as it probably equally. He's not one of them where he's always with his right and then he can go on his left. The ball's like in the middle of him.
And that's so rare.
Yeah.
Is there another player in, I'm going to go out on a limb and say world football, that's as 2-footed and as direct?
It's not.
You get 2-footed midfielders, but you don't get 2-footed wingers as often.
He's very much like Ademola Lookman. Both feet could play across the front, because he started on the right and then moved out onto the left.
Moved on the left straight away,
that is so useful in your team, so useful. So, and I'm actually ready. He's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, he is an Arsenal fan. Yeah.
Get him in the team.
Don't need to read it, just ask him.
Get him in the team. Boys, as footballers, do you wear grip socks?
Yeah, I do. I've always wore grip socks when I played, just to stop your foot sliding around in the boot. It makes a big difference compared to when you're wearing the standard long socks.
Yeah, for me, they help massively in like preventing blisters and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan.
I think blisters is a massive thing. I've found that on hard AstroTurf. These have been an absolute godsend. And these are Fit-Knit grip socks. If you want to get your own, you can use code BT10 for 10% off. Head over there now and grab yourself some.
What do you think of? Do you think that sort of silenced Arsenal's title challenges?
I think
it's so early. It's 8 games in, but I say that because we've had a few poor and shaky performances now, especially in the first half of games. Has that just sort of it was coming? That result was sort of coming. Yeah. Southampton, Leicester, we went 1-0 down. We've not been as good as I thought we'd be.
No, I said last week. Do you remember I had a bad feeling about this game?
Yeah, you say that every week though.
No, I don't. No, I don't. There was something about this game, and I'm not blaming injuries at all. But when you go off the back of a Bournemouth defeat, you've got Liverpool at the weekend, which we'll get into. You're now mounting injuries. That game is not the end of our title hopes. I just hope it's not a catalyst.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because we have well documented history. I'm not going to use the big B bottling word. We have a history throughout a season where we have about a 3 or 4 game period where we just don't win. And it's not necessarily the period where we play Man City, Spurs, and teams like that we've actually come out of we've come out of them pretty well, right?
Yeah.
It's games like Bournemouth, it's games like Fulham last season.
Christmas last year killed us.
Villa. Yeah. I mean, I'm not putting Villa in the same bracket, but they're not they're not title challengers from last season at least. I think you're right. I think that if it's being that catalyst where, we've got to go. We've got to play Liverpool. We've got Shakhtar midweek as well. I mean, we've got a lot of big games coming up, and we're really struggling for injuries.
Yeah. I think Liverpool's obviously going to be a huge game. They're top of the league. Yeah. I do feel like I still think we're well in with a title challenge, but because everyone's so reactionary these days. Like after one loss, you think you know, the world's ending. After a couple wins in a row, you think, right, we're going to win the league.
If we can't beat Liverpool now, this game's forgotten.
100%. We've had 2 losses in 2024. Like, can we all just chill out?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, look how far we've come from Emery and
Arteta out on Twitter. And I was like, grow up.
Thing is,
brilliant.
Just because we've got the loss, like you said, the periods can just come at different points. We might go the rest of the season now and not really get a loss.
And you have to look at your rivals as well. City, yes, they got the last-minute goal, which is what title-winning teams do. They did not look good against Wolves.
No,
and they were 10 seconds away from losing that game.
But they've not looked good for a few games now, but they're on their longest unbeaten run, 30 odd games.
Are we worrying about 49? Are we at Liverpool when they went on their 44 game, whatever it was? Are we at that level yet?
They're at what, 32 or 31?
Yeah. I think it's 31. They've 31. That's their record. So
I see every team as beatable for different reasons. I think every team will be beaten for different reasons. Ours just as annoyingly came fairly early against Bournemouth. I mean, Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Everyone's forgotten about that because they've now gone on 3 games that they've won.
That's what we need to do. Exactly. So we just need to respond, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, the only other problem we've got is obviously Liverpool coming up. No Saliba, no Odegaard, maybe no Saka.
Oh,
that is like this defence midfield attack.
Yeah,
like if we don't have
raps, lads.
If we beat Liverpool on Sunday without them 3, that will be one of the best wins we've had in a long time.
And you'll have to look at Liverpool.
Because you would,
There's a difference if you go just without Odegaard, right? One of our best players missing, but you can't whinge about one player. Difference if you go with just Saka. The fact that let's pretend Saka is not fit, that is 3 best players?
All 3 best players, probably.
Yeah, best players.
Yeah, definitely.
And now you throw in the fact that Timber isn't fully fit and might be injured.
If we have to play, with all due respect, Jakub Kiwior against Liverpool, I might just go for a little walk instead of watching it, if I'm honest.
What's the point?
He's had good spells for us as well, but I mean, he was slightly at, if I remember correctly, slightly at fault for...
When he came on and got subbed off.
Very at fault. He was the reason that... I mean, obviously he wasn't the reason, but he stitched Raya up with that pass. And then, like you say, he was the sub that got subbed, which is always a pretty damning
Not had that since a Boué, have we?
Yeah.
I mean, that is...
got booed off.
That is one of the worst things you can have as a footballer. Come on as a sub and get subbed back.
Have you ever had that? No?
I've not played enough for that to happen.
Do you think Arteta's tactics, did he get them wrong? Because...
I thought the starting 11 was wrong before the game started. I genuinely thought that. I would not have gone with that team.
And then, in my opinion, I mean, again, hindsight, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing on another defender. If anything, which I hate, I'm putting Partey at right back, which I hate. But you have to have some form of outlet.
Yeah.
Havertz isn't an outlet. He's up there. Trossard's not, I don't think, an outlet. Sterling is not playing like an outlet. There was nothing for us to do. Nothing for us to do. And I feel sorry for Kiwior that he got bought into that, which I think is the wrong thing to do, and then got taken on.
I feel like Arteta saw that they were like the chances were going to come for them, and I thought he went down almost the Man City route of let's not concede and we'll get a set piece.
Yeah.
Which why are we playing against, again, all due respect, Bournemouth, like we did against Man City with 10? And why is it like one rule for one and one exactly the same rule for the other?
You're playing two different levels there.
You got to adapt.
And we did have the chances. If we talk about the Martinelli one-on-one with the keeper, would have been 1-0 Arsenal.
But so did Bournemouth. Bournemouth had chances like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Antoine had a couple.
If of course, ifs and buts. If Martinelli scores that, we finish that game and win 1-0, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Missed chances when the team is already depleted is so harmful.
Yeah. I'd call it missed chance because I can't think of many others that we had.
I agree.
So, I think you're right as a rule.
Yeah.
There was that sort of Marino half chance where he kind of snatched at it, but beyond that,
it's a good chance as well, isn't it?
It's a really good chance.
Score. We talk about this all the time.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so obvious where he's going. It's not. Again, hindsight, and in that position, there's obviously a whole heap more pressure.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, you're like, just fake to go that way.
He's not where he's going.
It's not a player who's in form who's done that or confident that's done that decision.
It looked like a player but lacked confidence. Yeah, and that's unfortunately where he's at the minute.
Yeah, that's it. Like Martinelli this time last year would have buried that.
100%.
Like no question.
Yeah.
Based on all that, do you think we've got what do you think our chances are against Liverpool on Sunday? We are at home. That does make a difference for us these days.
If Timber is fit, then you can have a defence of Timber, White, Gabriel, Calafiori, and you can kind of play Timber and White. Calafiori can go centre back, Timber go left back, White can go centre back, Timber go right back. I'd be fine with that defence, absolutely fine, because I think Jota now may be injured. I don't really rate Cody Gakpo.
No.
Salah is obviously the issue. Luis Diaz is good. If we can do that and have Saka back, I would still fancy us.
Saka's a big one.
Saka's the one. He's our most important player. Fundamentally.
Yeah. What are the chance? Do we know any update with that?
He wasn't in training midweek.
That's great.
There was no him, Timber. There was a couple more as well. But I mean, they're
too big.
Where we're sort of dying on our feet.
If I know Saka and I know him well, he will play against Liverpool.
Yeah. It could be a thing where he would maybe 30% ready against Bournemouth. Arteta's just risked not playing him ready for that game.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be.
The geezer's robust. Don't forget. Yeah, Saka gets kicked all the time, and
Lee Carsley was considering playing him in that Finland game.
Yeah,
the second international. So, respectfully, you could have killed that man. So we're not doing too badly, all things considered. He's still alive. He's still got 2 legs. And he didn't play against Finland. So
let's say Saka's available.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think we've got a good chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
What would you change in our lineup? Obviously, Marino would not start for me.
What would your midfield be? Because that's the tricky one.
My midfield would be so I'd have Trossard back in the middle, sort of where it'd be like him and Havertz sort of up and down, and then we've got Partey and Rice.
Yeah,
they're sort of like a box sometimes when we have the ball.
And then Martinelli on my left,
Martinelli and Saka.
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 I mean that would be good, right? That's kind of at the minute ideal scenario.
Yeah.
What about your defence? If Saliba, I mean he's not playing.
Yeah. Timber.
Let's say he's fit.
Yeah, so I'd go Timber, left back, Ben White right back, and then I'd go Calafiori
centre back.
Calafiori and actually no, Gabriel's left, isn't he?
Yeah,
so it might have to be Ben White centre back, Timber on the right.
Do you reckon Timber is centre half?
No, he's too small.
Do you think?
And also I feel like he'd be similar defensively to Ben White in centre back, I think, but I think Timber will offer more going forward.
Yeah.
Let me throw Calafiori at centre back because he's a fucking unit, right? He is prone to a yellow card and a bit of a horror foul if he gets caught. Against Salah, I don't want that. Timber is much better suited
he'd be good.
Against Salah, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's better than Salah. At left back, I would go Calafiori and Gabriel centre backs and just gamble on the both left footers.
Yeah. I'd be fine however they set that back four up, really.
I think the personnel's the thing, isn't it? As long as it's those 4 if Timber's fit.
Yeah.
I do worry a little bit if Calafiori ends up with Darwin Núñez. I know you'd obviously rather him against Núñez and Salah.
Yes.
But Núñez, I could just see him riling him up.
Yep.
They're both quite aggressive players. Yeah. I'd personally stick with Calafiori on the left and trust he's got the physical attributes to try and do whatever you supposedly can to do with Salah. Because bear in mind, we've tried to do with Salah before with Zinchenko, who fundamentally cannot defend.
Zinchenko can't go near that left.
No, exactly. I mean, he got nutmegged at Anfield and went off crying. So I mean, poor fella. But I mean, seriously, we can't have that again. So at least it's an upgrade on that.
Yeah.
And then I think you're right. I think Ben White right back or Timber, and then we haven't played Ben White centre half in so long. That's my only thing. We haven't really played him there at all.
And his second game back.
Yeah, second game back. Arteta's never really played him there. I think he'll go Timber and Gabriel.
Timber and Saka being fit is huge because if not, Calafiori's going to have to go centre back with Kivior left back, I think.
Oh, we can't put now. Remember what Leroy Sané did to Kivior?
No, yeah. Kivior can't go start left back. I don't think Arteta will start Kivior.
I think he's starting the centre half more than anything. I actually think Kivior's better performance has been a centre half. I know that Bournemouth game he came on and wasn't particularly good.
Yeah.
But I think actually, despite him being a left footer at right side of centre half, he's actually looked better there than the other left back. He's looked really immobile at left back.
Would you take Marino out of the team? Would you go with my midfield?
I would always take Partey out of the team.
Yeah, he wants Partey out, Rice to go in the holding.
But would you? I could not agree more. I'd start Jorginho ahead of him. I'd start me.
He wants Rice to drop deep.
I would play. Let me just clarify that. I would play the fluid.
You play the double pivot.
6-8s with Marino Rice.
I think in games where we know we're going to dominate the ball, which let's be real is the majority of them. I think Liverpool's a different kind of challenge. Though this is actually one of the games where I think Partey's probably got a shout to start. They've got. They've got Gravenberch in there. They had Curtis Jones, who looked unreal at the weekend.
McAllister, is he still
McAllister was, I don't know where he was.
Szoboszlai did not look good.
Szoboszlai, I
really like him, though. I really like him as a player.
You just like how he schmoozes the camera when he does that.
Why does that even come into your head?
That's all he does.
You just fancy him, Lewis. Just say it. Just
his aura. That's all he does. I don't think he's a very good player.
No.
I mean, he obviously is. Right.
I feel like he can do pretty much everything. He's just not as consistent as they should be.
He does everything once in a blue moon, and most of the time he does nothing, which is I think the real problem.
Still very young though.
That's what we want.
He's like 23.
Yeah, 100%. But for the weekend, play him.
Oh, 100% start him. Yeah. Well, now we've said that he's gonna score.
Yeah,
so
of course he is.
Clip that.
So you're going with. You haven't said your midfield.
I'm going. I would do Rice, Marino, Waneri.
Waneri.
Wow. But if you I would
Sterling off, yeah.
Yeah, Sterling off. If you offered me Waneri plays, but that means Partey has to play, I'd take that. I just want to see Waneri play. Every time he comes on, he livens the team up instantly. You have to at some point. You have to give him a shot.
Yeah.
What better time to do it than when our attacking midfielder is injured for a while?
Yeah. No,
Are you coming around to that yet?
I agree. I wouldn't mind if he started. I really wouldn't. But
good.
Again, starting the game and coming on in a game is completely different, as we spoke about before.
Is Liverpool the game to give him his first Premier League start?
Hell yeah.
First Premier League start.
First Premier League start.
Yeah.
Is it? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, but then I love him. I think he's brilliant. But I feel like we missed the opportunity with Bournemouth. If he didn't start him against Bournemouth, there's no way he starts against Liverpool.
100%. We had the Leicester, Southampton, Bournemouth, which is what I was saying. But he strikes me as a player a bit Cole Palmer-y. Like the pressure isn't there. No. In terms of football inability, in terms of you can tell pressure doesn't. Yeah. He looks fine in every game he plays.
I think that's age is a big thing of that as well. Like you just have a lot less fear when you're that age.
Something to prove. Start him, man.
But then you're dropping Trossard.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not being funny. After that pass, he needs a few weeks back.
He sits in the naughty corner for a bit.
Yeah. Was it the other week Arteta made him bring in the ice cooler?
Yeah, wouldn't get his red card. Yeah.
That's what I like about Arteta though, because he'll come out and publicly defend everything to do with his players. Yeah. It's like all the great managers have done. Fergie and Wenger, off the top of my head. Guardiola does it a fair bit as well. They always come out and defend their players and always go at the officials, and no matter what the literal cost is. Yeah. I think that's a real selling point of Arteta's. I think it's a really good thing for him to be able to do. But yeah, I mean, you could tell that Trossard was definitely in the naughty corner.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Makes you want to play for the manager. That
100%.
I always think managers, you can give them a bollocking behind closed doors, and then always, like you said, to the media, to the public, praise them, protect them. It'll help build that team morale as well, which Arteta's done so well.
Yeah, and look, Trossard and Martinelli both rinsed Liverpool last season in different ways.
Yeah,
I'm not angry if Trossard plays. I would just Waneri play him at some point. He might play. He might play at the time we're recording tonight against Shakhtar.
I think he starts against Shakhtar. I mean, maybe he did. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah. Maybe he scored a hat trick.
Maybe he did.
We don't know.
I reckon the 11 will be Raya, White, Timber, Gabriel, Calafiori.
Yeah.
But I think the midfield will irritatingly be the exact same as the Bournemouth game.
No,
I think he'll look at Liverpool's midfield and he'll go, "We need three absolute meatheads in there again."
Control it.
Yeah, because if he's doing that against a team that we're supposed to be dominating, he's not going to not do it against a team where we might not. So I think he'll do the Marino.
I think
I'll
be very surprised if he does that. If he goes with that again, surely he must have watched that game and thought this isn't working.
Yeah. They just got in each other's way. As you said.
I hope you're right. Yeah. But I think he starts at midfield 3, and then Saka comes back in a blaze of glory and scores a hat trick.
If Saka's not there, do you want Sterling there?
Yes, I do. Really? I liked bar the end product, and I know you hate the man. no, I hate him. Sorry. Yeah, forever. You're not his biggest fan.
Yeah.
I think he was the only one of our players taking anyone on. I think I like Kirkes, but I think he had him on toast a fair few times. But his end product just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But in terms of comparing to Trossard's performance, even barring the brain dead pass that Trossard did, Trossard didn't take on his man once. I know it's not really his game, but I'd definitely look to start with Sterling on that right, because I think he
can do more on his own.
Yeah.
Can't he? But when like you said, if we're playing we never really got into gear against Bournemouth. When we do get into gear, I feel like Trossard's a better player to link up and combine with his teammates.
Would you play him on the right?
I do. If we're going with that if he plays the same midfield, then I wouldn't mind seeing, and there's no Saka, Trossard and Martinelli. Probably Martinelli on the right.
Wow.
I think Trossard's better at coming in.
Martinelli though against Trent every time.
Yeah, it's true.
It's absolute roast dinner time. He honestly he puts him on.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And is it Robertson left back still there behind?
Yeah. See, I'd go Sterling against Robertson. Yeah. I mean, Robertson's a quality defender, but he's not got the pace for Sterling. I know what you're.
I think you're thinking 1v1s though. Sterling.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think that's how the game's going to look.
Yeah. I think we need Martinelli for that game, and if that means dropping Trossard, then so be it. Because I'm not entirely against that.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, we'll go to our official predictions, which we love getting. We love getting wrong. Have we ever got one right? I think
No.
We never got a correct score, right? Have we? But
I did say I didn't
you can go first.
Beat Bournemouth, but anyway.
It's quite a broad set of results.
We might draw or win this.
I'm going to go on the basis that both Saka and Timber will be fit. I will go 2-1 Arsenal.
That's what you want to happen, or what you generally think?
If Saka and Timber are fit, I think that will happen. I think Liverpool are good. They haven't been properly tested this season yet.
I agree.
And they also lack... I mean, Arne Slot's got them playing in this kind of very regimented, structured way that they lack a bit of creativity. I think if you come up against Arsenal defence, whether Saliba's there or not, they could struggle to break that down. So I'm going 2-1 Arsenal on the basis that Saka and Timber are fit. Yeah. If not, we lose 3-0.
Okay, nice. U-turn. Yeah. What do you reckon, Archie?
So you remember us against City at the Emirates, Martinelli deflected goal?
Yes.
I'm having visions.
Oh, God.
And I'm seeing exactly that. I'm seeing the cagiest game you see in your life. And I think we will start that sort of big back four and that big midfield three and just kind of block it out. And Martinelli will score and we will win 1-0. And I think, like you say, it's massive if Saka plays. Obviously Timber, but if Timber plays as well, that frees up Ben White to go right back, and him and Saka's link up. So nice. 1-0. Martinelli late goal. Nice. Absolute limbs. Ideally heavily deflected as well. Yeah. I quite enjoyed that about
to annoy
the other skanky as possible.
Yeah, a horrible bobble. I mean, you don't get bobbles at the Emirates. It's not Sunday.
Beach ball.
Let's Darren Bent 2.0 it. Let's have it.
Beach ball it. That's class.
That's great. Lewis, what are you saying?
I don't know. I reckon at home the crowd will obviously be right up for it. The players, I reckon, will have the bit between their teeth after that Bournemouth loss. Yeah. I think we'll win 2-1, regardless of the team.
Oh, wow.
I think they'll get the first goal. I think early goal we can see then, and it's like a clawback. I'm going to go Havertz and Ranieri to come on and score.
Wow.
Oh, you're right.
Beautiful. Just 2-1. Just to finish.
Yes.
One word answer. Do you take a draw?
No.
Yes.
Ooh.
Are we keeping to one word, or are we allowed to expand on that? What are the rules like on this?
What about you?
No, I never take a draw against anyone.
I just couldn't do it. I take a draw like away to City. They're the ones I'd say yes.
The only reason I am is if we're coming off the back of a win, and we might be actually after a Shakhtar game in truth. So maybe that does change my answer. Maybe I'll just go for a maybe and sit on the fence. Yeah. But I still would. No, I would not take a draw.
No?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Nice.
Turn around.
That's what we want.
Lovely. Well, we'll leave it there and see how our predictions get in. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Lovely.